Sutam Devam Kamsacharuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Thou, son of Vasudeva, the supreme bliss of thy mother Devaki, the destroyer of Kamsa and Chanura, to thee, O Krishna, as Guru of the world and as God, we salute. The Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, verse 11. We have subtitled it The Lamp of Knowledge. So the Lord says, moved by compassion for them and dwelling in their mental states, I destroy the darkness born of ignorance with the lustrous flame of knowledge, with the flame of knowledge. It's Jnana Deepi. So I have a friend whose name is Swami Vivekananda. Wonderful. So, Tesham, to them, to whom? To the devotees, of course. And we see the characteristics mentioned in the two previous verses about what devotees. Why can't the Lord do it for everyone? Well, He's doing it for everyone actually, but only these guys, they understand it. And that's because they have their minds fixed on God. Macchitta, their lives are imbued with me. They have surrendered to me. And what do? They enlighten each other. And that's how they find their joy and contentment. They're constantly engaging with others in the topic of divinity. They say that the more you rub a sandalwood, the more fragrance emerges. And that's the reason why they say that when you speak about God or you think about God, it's like just you're constantly rubbing that sandalwood, fragrance comes in. And it helps you also to kind of fine-tune your thoughts and your concentration. So these are the people, and then the other characteristics of the devotees are, to them who are uninterruptedly united with me and who lovingly adore me, I grant that intellectual union. Actually, it's not, it's kind of translation, intellectual union is saying buddhi, the yoga of wisdom. I connect them with wisdom, and through which they realize me. So these are the people whose lives have been, as they say, dedicated to the Lord, to the devotees. The last time we were kind of speaking about, there is something transcendent in every being. Most of the times we are putting our biology in front, and we want the world to see us as such limited beings. There's nothing big in our biology. We don't, bodies don't have that kind of strength. It does not have that size. It does not have the stamina. It does not have anything compared to other biological beings. And yet we think that this is everything about us. No. There is so much more. And we've seen that that transcendent aspect which is in us is more dominant. Only we miss out the whole thing. When we don't see our own transcendent nature, we don't see the transcendent nature of others. But it comes to us. It hits us. So anything, whether you call it, that's the old concept of the logos or the divinity that shines forth through us. We are just a conduit, and these devotees are such. They put their divinity in front. They want to emphasize that kind of holiness, that kind of dedication, that concentration to God, of course. And so these devotees, for them, the Lord says, moved by compassion for them, for those devotees. So this is another great characteristics of God, compassion. Moved by compassion for those. We say whether God is kind or whether God is aware of our existence. And in fact, most of the time we are not aware of our own existence. We are aware of other people's existence, possibly. Not our. So, this is one, you can say, quality that God displays, that great compassion. Why? Because Sri Ramakrishna says there are two things, Maya and Daya. Maya attaches one to the world, Daya, compassion, liberates you. So when you are in this, so here the Lord is saying that out of compassion, so the Lord is aware of your existence, obviously. And out of that compassion, why should he or she be so compassionate? Well, that is a big mystery. But it is a fact that the Lord is perfectly aware of all our struggles and the trials and tribulations. We may think nobody cares about me, nobody wants me, I'm so lonely, I'm so alone, I'm so this, I'm that. Oh no. There is that internal, you can say, witness that is aware of everything. Life is, apart from what some of the poets say, the life is so good and so beautiful. They don't know what you're talking about. When you come down to the life is a constant struggle. It's a tremendous effort. It's like a being held down by circumstances, and the being is trying to fight against all circumstances. This is the story of life, this is the story of everyone. There's a constant struggle to survive and to be sane. So the Lord knows this. And especially devotees have this one characteristic, they undergo more suffering. Somehow. Why? Well, devotees have to go through their evolution very quickly. The spiritual evolution, I'm not talking about biological evolution. And hence, their struggles are tremendous. And so you have always somebody, God, who's looking and aware of our pains and miseries and out of compassion, he says, I destroy the darkness born of ignorance. That's a tremendous statement. So ultimately, you see, it is ignorance that is the cause of all our miseries and everything. He destroys that. And we're saying, where? Is he sitting up there in the clouds, or he's sitting out there in the middle of the Pacific? And so he's sitting down there in the valley. Or maybe he's gone to a neighbor's house and he's going. No, he's very clear. Dwelling in their mental states. The word actually used Atma Bhava, dwelling here within, as a witnessing consciousness of our inner instrument. It's called Antakaran. So this is, God dwells here within us. And you know what happens is, consciousness now is being used. And for the last 30, 40 years, it's now everywhere. Initially, it was in the kind of realm of philosophy, and now science is kind of studying it. Every branch of science is trying to study what is consciousness, and everybody is trying to study what is consciousness, what is consciousness. So we must understand we are talking about supreme consciousness, not just individual consciousness which is limited to my brain or my neural system. So there is a deeper aspect, that those mental states, that is the transcendent aspect within us. So the Lord dwells in those mental states. And he's saying, what is that? He's saying, within. It is like I said, it's Antakaran, that is every mode of the mind is an expression of consciousness. In Indian philosophy, if consciousness is not shining in every mode of the mind, called chitta vritti, you will not be aware of things. Take for instance, when it's not shining there, because it's covered with darkness, when you go to deep sleep, you're not aware of anything. There is the light of consciousness, but it is now reflected in one wave that runs through the mind, the wave of tamas. So in every act of cognition, that consciousness is there inside. This is what they think, dwelling in their mental states. And that's not only cognition, your emotion, your thinking, your feeling, your willing, and everything. That consciousness is there. So that consciousness is lustrous. And that is that lamp of wisdom, the lamp of knowledge. So how does it happen? Now, the commentator kind of beautifully explains this. The flame of knowledge or the flame of wisdom is the discernment cognitions. You must be able to catch what is real and what is unreal, what is stupid and what is not stupid. Yeah, we do all stupid things and we think we are very wise, and then finally, oh my God, it has led me to. So, and this flame is fed by the oil of devotion. Constant devotion, because they are already devotees. They are speaking about the Lord, and the Lord has infinite qualities, ashesha guna sampanna, infinite qualities. You can keep on talking about it. And then he's saying, what is that breeze that you can make the lamp even burn even brighter? There he says, that is the contemplation. By withdrawing all your, you can say, tendency to move outside, the mind moves outside, senses pulled it out inside, concentrating, it becomes more and more lustrous. So that one-pointedness is that you can say, makes that luster even brighter. And this, he's saying, it is always, he's saying, the product of purification. So how do we purify ourselves? Just devotion will purify us. And that light is the light of knowledge or the flame of wisdom now absent in us? No, it cannot be. That flame of wisdom is constant there. Is now, right now, just smothered over by hundreds of things. And once these things have been removed off, it keeps on burning bright and bright and bright. And as you keep on feeding it with love and devotion, the oil of love and devotion goes bright. And then you're withdrawing your kind of senses from the external world and fixing it on that consciousness. That is what dispels all ignorance. So ignorance is not something objective there, outside. Here it is, inside. So it is also subjective. I don't know that. That means there is ignorance also. So here he is saying, Tesham evanukam partha aham ajnanajam tamaha nashayamyatma bhavasto jnana deepena bhasvata. With the shining lamp of knowledge, I destroy the darkness that is born of ignorance with, you can say, through compassion for them. So that's why he's saying, we are not alone. Where is that Lord? That consciousness is the Lord there within. And it is that which makes us special from all other things. That is, Swami Vivekananda says, a sense of self-consciousness is much greater than any other living beings. You get it in chimps, and you get it in dolphins, and you get it in whales also, maybe, and some other elephants. But in a human being, completely unfurled. And this can be further expanded and expanded by devotees. This is how that consciousness which is self-consciousness, you become aware of that. That is that Lord within. That is the lamp of knowledge. So this ignorance, which we think we are mere biological beings, we are simply limited people, we are simply struggling without any end in sight, or we don't know the goal, this is eradicated. And then you can see, you can guide your life, your actions, your words and thoughts through this lamp of wisdom. That's a tremendous thing. How do these people live? It's like that. Everything is like Swami Vivekananda uses, but throwing the scorching light of reason. This is what happens. So everything you do or say, think, has got a tremendous, that scorching light of the luster of knowledge that has been conferred to you out of compassion for your existence. So your existence can glow and reveal the Lord Himself. So I'll read it once again. Moved by compassion for them, Tesham. This is, some of these verses are kind of really amazing. Why does the Lord do that? Yeah, out of compassion. I remember there was a discussion. How do some souls, some great souls kind of, who, knowing that this world is completely unreal. They have come to that realization. And yet they operate or work in this world. Take for instance Swami Vivekananda. He's seen this, he had, through his experience, highest experience, this world was dismissed as unreal. And yet, Swami Vivekananda kept on working for us, all of us. Why? Why should that be? So I remember that discussion was with my guru. So he's saying, out of compassion. And then he was asked, some of us were saying, but isn't that a contradiction? Knowing that everything is kind of unreal and yet having compassion for that? Saying, yes, that's a contradiction, but it's a blessed contradiction. And this is what you find in all these great souls. You see that. They do it only out of compassion. Shri Ramakrishna says that when he was told, don't speak to anybody, it's aggravating your kind of cancerous sore. Yet he goes and takes the trouble to speak, to show, to enlighten others. Like the great Buddha, you find even at the last moment when he is about to enter parinirvana, somebody comes, a seeker comes to ask him questions, and these disciples say, the Lord is now ready to depart. So the Buddha heard and he called that thing, don't stop a seeker from seeing me. So here also you have this great compassion. They are doing nothing but out of compassion trying to destroy your ignorance. And they will sacrifice everything for that. So this ideal is reflected in them. We might say, oh, this might be just a kind of theoretical kind of knowledge. No, it isn't. It is demonstrated in the lives of these great souls. And if it is demonstrated in the life of these great souls, imagine there the Lord himself is doing that within, pushing. So there is no contradiction there. So there is compassion, and that compassion is to destroy our ignorance, simple as that. With that lamp of knowledge, which is smothered over by non-discrimination of things real and unreal. We are just mixed up, We go to life all mixed up. We ask about ourselves, we are all mixed up. We say one thing and do something else, or maybe we only speak about one aspect, the surface aspect of us, and we don't really go down deep to find out what exactly we are. So this all, you can say, ignorance that covers layers after layers after layers is slowly peeled back. So what do? Well, I say, those whose minds and lives are fixed in me, Machchitta Madgata Prana, and constantly thinking of the reality, this is the way. So do you have to sit down straight or do it lying down or do it standing up? You do it anyway. They are not giving you any specifications. But keep on kind of a constant remembrance, a mental remembrance. That is what is the only kind of thing. Now we'll say, what is this consciousness? What is this reality which is there within us, which is helping us? So the reality is nothing but this. So Arjuna, he says, I'll read the Sanskrit first. It's beautiful. Param Brahma Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashwatam Divyam Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum. Oh my God. Amazing. So Arjuna, after the Lord has been speaking, now he kind of now and then interjects in. He understands, my God, who can make such declarations? This. And it's not only Arjuna, it's not only his friend, but he has grown up with the Lord. So only there's a cloud of kind of delusion that had covered him. Now it's kind of being pulled away. So Arjuna says, you are the supreme Brahman, Param Brahma. You are the, so that consciousness which is there within us is not some consciousness which is fragmentary or fragmented or kind of transient. It goes away with the death of the body. No. The body goes away. The bodies and minds are transient. This is what is permanent. So Param Brahma, Param Dhama, you are the supreme abode. Should I go there and say, hey, how are you? I've come to your place. No. We are actually existing within that receptacle, that reality. So you are that supreme abode. And you are that supreme sanctifier, the supreme purifier. Yeah, Bhavan, you are. So you are the supreme Brahman. You are the supreme abode. You are the supreme purifier. And then he says that you are that eternal supreme spirit. Purusham Shashwatam Divyam. You're the divine, you can say, eternal spirit that you are. Spirit in the sense, not the ordinary idea of, he has drunk a lot of spirits today. So, that person is very spirited. There's nothing like that. So, this is your reality. And your reality is always linked to the reality of God. You see, in Indian philosophy, to understand Indian philosophy, you cannot bring these two things, make these two things separate. You and the reality. Please, this is a lot of misconceptions that we have to face from people who ask us, what is this, what is that? First I said, drop this idea of separation. It is non-dual. Your reality is the reality, the all-pervading reality of God. Oh my God, really? That's frightening. Yeah, that's frightening. It will take you away from your narrow, small hole of existence and make you infinite, broad. So this is what he's saying. Purusham, what is Purusha? It's the reality. In the Sankhya philosophy and Vedanta also, they use the Purusham. Puri Shayana, that which is existing within this body, or that which fills everything. Purnamiti anena. So this is the divine, supreme, or eternal, you can say, reality. And he's saying there are so many gods. Which one of you? No, there's only. So he says, you are the primordial being. And then he's saying, unborn and all-pervading. This is very clear. He's saying, oh, God is born. God is born. God cannot be born. He appears as if God is born. So, God is unborn, that is uncreate. There is no cause to bring about reality. Reality is real. It exists forever and ever. It transcends time. It cannot be born. There was nothing, and then suddenly there was something. Oh, sorry. That's another point in Indian philosophy. There is no time there, but at the same time they say it is transcendent and it has always been there. Time has emerged and space has emerged after that. So that's when they say unborn. When they say unborn, what's unborn? Yeah, that's unborn. So there is no cause. So what is the first cause? They say like the first mover, as Aristotle says. You can question the primeval mover. The primeval mover. That's the idea. Unborn. So he's saying, you are the supreme Brahman. You are the supreme abode. You are the supreme sanctifier. You are also the everlasting divine reality. The primordial God, unborn and all pervading. So it's not pervading only that sky is there, in that galaxy somewhere there, not here. We are trying to search. No, He's God, that reality is here. It's outside, it is inside. So there it is. So your consciousness is unborn, it's primordial, it's primeval, and everything has come out of it. It fills everything up. This is that Lord spoken about as, you can say, the absolute and the relative aspects. So that reality there within us, we suddenly, after years and years of kind of being tossed about, we become aware of our own reality. Right now we are aware of our reality. Yes, I know, I am real. Really? Yeah. And you will talk and talk and talk and talk and talk, And suddenly you get a hit on the head and you fall unconscious. Hey, what happened to your reality? You are aware of your own reality, that is your own ego. And that is the most unreal thing. Who am I? Who am I? Yeah, we know who you are. You drink a bottle of whiskey and you'll find who am I? You're already gone. Yeah. You go to sleep and what about you? Who am I? Ridiculous. Because you are aware only of that limited existence, which is centered on this idea of ego. So when you eradicate that ego out, then you'll find, oh my God, this is the reality. And I've been searching for it. Yeah, I was stupid. I was stupid all the. And that's why you see, I'm out of compassion. So, Sri Ramakrishna gives the example of, the child is weeping, and the mother then, okay, wait, she's busy with something else. She takes a pot down from the furnace, and then she comes and lifts the child. But you've got to do that little weeping for the Lord. Yeah. You see how intense you are. So Swami Vivekananda says, nature whips us and we begin to cry. And then nature gives us the gingerbread and we begin to laugh. So nature knows this guy is not serious yet. I want you, I want God, I want God. He's not serious. The moment he'll get a lollipop, he'll go for that. So there has to be a kind of a burning, you can say, desire to see that reality, to know that reality, to be that reality, which is always there. So when you are progressing towards that, or struggling towards that, Sri Ramakrishna says, you take one step towards God, God takes 10 steps towards you. And some of the direct disciples will say, not 10 steps, 100 steps. There you are. This is compassion. They're doing it, yeah, free. Come on. Why? Because God feels that you belong to me. You are real. And you've been dreaming that I am so and so. You're dreaming unreality. They say that every one of us will one day, at one time, everything in creation will end in liberation. You don't have to worry about what will happen to the world. That will keep on. There is a long, you can see, big stream of souls going. So what the Lord does is, does not judge you according to what you were. He sees or she sees the potential there within you. That person will get liberated then. God. There was one particular incident in the life of Swami Shivananda. So they're talking about various things. So Swami Shivananda, that is Mahapurush Maharaj, he was a disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, who became the president also of the order. Say, there is so much power here. If I tell this tree, he points out to a tree, be liberated, it will be liberated. This, they had that kind of capacity. An ordinary person, ordinary monk can say this. You think the Lord doesn't know this? He'll say, oh, that is a tree. I might as well liberate a big elephant. It kind of makes sense. No. So this is what. So they see the potential there. They see the struggle there. And they judge you on that. So it's going to get liberated. So if the Lord is partial, then you have a big trouble. We are partial, of course, and biased, and you can say crazy. The mind kind of is so delusive. So the Lord here is assuring us that it is out of compassion that the Lord approaches us from within, of course, and lights that lamp, which is burning already. It becomes more lustrous, it becomes more brilliant. And that brilliance itself eradicates that darkness of ignorance. So these are not two things. You light a lamp and then shoo the darkness away. Sri Ramakrishna also gives the example. So when you light a lamp and bring it in a room which has been dark for 1,000 years, that darkness goes immediately. So 1,000 years of ignorance, or maybe 1,000,000 years, who knows? Let's take it 1,000,000, that's better, is dispelled immediately. This is what the Lord is saying, that it's immediate. Do I have to wait for some time? No, it's not, it doesn't going to destroy. So darkness is darkness born of ignorance. So this is what we need to struggle against. And this is how the Lord is there with us. So this is the great hope also for all of us. Know that, yes, there is a watchful, you can say, being, ever compassionate. It doesn't, what happens in many cases, like, they say, oh, the guy is like a Snoopy, is prying into my private affairs. I don't like that kind of Snoopy guy. Spying on everything I do and say, no, nothing like that. Because there is a sense of freedom also for the individual. So that person now says, okay, there is someone with me who loves me. They're not going to send me to hell. Hey, you go to hell. Why? No, I never. Kind of small mistake. No, you go to hell. It's not just possible. It's not possible for God to punish you, because He sees that we have been punishing ourselves enough. So, you go to hell. Why should I? So if you have a loving God and you have punishment, that is kind of contradiction. You always will have that loving God. in whatever you do, all your mistakes and everything. Holy Mother says, well, if my child soils itself, and it is my duty as a mother to cleanse it and take it back in my lap, there it is. You think someone else is going to do that? Of course, there's no one else. So the Divine Mother is saying, it is my duty, kind of, my job. So you have dirtied and muddied yourself, you have rolled in the kind of, you can say, in all the muck of the world. Yeah, nobody going to say, why did you do that? They are not going to ask you, why did you do that? You just clean you and get back. This is real religious life. The core of a religious life is this. You have someone who's holding you, who is doing everything for you. Okay? We'll stop here on this note. To make a small announcement, this is my last Gita class year in Hollywood. I hope to continue some of these Gita classes, including this meditation classes in Seattle, where I am heading to on the 15th. So after a brief, you can self-quarantine, I'll be in form. And yeah, it's a big family, so we know where we are. And so thank you very much. It has been a wonderful journey.
You're leaving us? You're going to Seattle?
Yes. I'm leaving you. I'm going to meet someone else in Seattle. Om, peace, peace, peace.